It all started with a phone call, 12:03 a.m. My phone lit up, rang once, then went silent. No caller ID. I almost dismissed it as a glitch, but curiosity got the better of me. I checked my voicemail. There was a message, a single word, a shaky, distorted whisper of my own name. It was unnerving, but I brushed it off. Probably just a friend messing with me, I thought. The next night, it happened again. 12:03. Hey, one ring. This time, I answered. Static hissed for a moment, and then a voice spoke. It was clearer now, deeper, and raspy with age, but it was unmistakably mine. It sounded like me, but older. Decades older. My blood ran cold. The voice on the other end didn't wait for me to speak. It just said, "Listen to me very carefully. Starting tonight, do not leave your room after midnight, no matter what you hear. Do you understand? Don't open the door." Then, the line went dead. I sat there in the dark, my heart hammering against my ribs. What was that? A prank? It felt too real, too specific. A few minutes later, I heard it, a faint scratching sound from the hallway. It started at the far end and slowly dragged its way closer. Scratch, scratch, drag. Then, footsteps, heavy, shuffling footsteps, pacing right outside my bedroom. The scratching grew louder, more frantic, right on my door. It sounded like something was trying to claw its way through the wood. The door vibrated with a force. I held my breath, hiding under my covers like a little kid, until the sun finally came up. The next morning at breakfast, I asked my parents if they'd heard anything last night. My dad just laughed. "Heard what, Champ?" "The house was quiet as a tomb. You must have been dreaming." My mom agreed, telling me I probably just had a nightmare. But I knew what I heard. The door had been shaking. How could they not have heard that? It made no sense. Night after night, the pattern repeated. 12:03 a.m. Tikolkum, the older me on the other end, would repeat the same warning, sometimes adding more desperate pleas. "It's getting closer," he'd say. "You have to stay put." And every night, after the call ended, the scratching and the footsteps would return, more aggressive each time. The scraping against my door sounded like sandpaper on bone, and the footsteps paced with a hungry, impatient rhythm. I was living on a knife's edge, barely sleeping, jumping at every creak in the house. One night exhaustion finally won. I'd been up for what felt like days, and I passed out cold around 11. I slept right through my alarm, right through 12:03 a.m. I was jolted awake by a different sound, not scratching, not footsteps. It was the sound of my doorknob. It was turning, slowly, deliberately, back and forth. Click, giggly, click. Something was actively trying to get in. I scrambled out of bed and pressed my body against the door, my heart feeling like it was going to explode. The knob kept turning, faster now, more violently. I could feel the pressure on the other side. After what felt like an eternity of silent, desperate struggle, it stopped. The hallway went quiet. I stayed pressed against the door until morning, too terrified to move. I knew I couldn't go on like this. I needed proof. I needed to know if I was going crazy. The next night, I was ready. I set up my phone to record the call. As the clock ticked past midnight, my phone rang. 12:03 a.m. I answered and hit record. "Where were you last night?" The old voice rasped, filled with panic. You almost let it in. Before I could answer, I asked him, "Who are you? Where are you calling from?" There was a long, chilling pause. Then he said, "I'm you. You, and I'm calling from the last night you'll ever be safe." Before I could process that, he continued, his voice dropping to a terrified whisper. "It looks just like you, a shadow version of you. It's been following you your whole life, waiting for a chance to take your place. It can only get to you if you're outside your room after midnight. It wants your life, my life, The call ended. A shadow version of me. It sounded insane, like something out of a horror movie. But the turning doorknob, the sounds my parents couldn't hear, it all started to click into a terrifying picture. The thing in the hallway wasn't just some monster. It was a copy of me. This was it. The final night. I could feel it. A strange calm had settled over me. I wasn't just scared anymore. I was ready to face whatever was coming. I sat on my bed, staring at the door, waiting. The clock on my nightstand glowed. Las 12:01, las 12:02, my phone remained silent. 12:03 came and went. Nothing. A wave of relief washed over me. Was it over? Did I win? And then my phone rang. But it wasn't my ringtone. It was the phone in my pocket. The call I had recorded the night before was playing on its own. I'm calling from the last night you'll ever be safe. As the recorded voice echoed in the silent room, I saw movement from the corner of my eye. A shadow detached itself from the deeper darkness of my closet. It was tall and thin, and as it stepped into the sliver of moonlight from my window, it took my form. It had my face, my hair, my clothes, but its eyes were empty black pits, and a wide, predatory smile stretched across its face. It was already in the room with me. The next morning, I woke up in my bed. The sun was streaming through the window. It felt normal. Too normal. I walked downstairs. My mom was making pancakes, humming a cheerful tune. "Morning, sweetie," she said, smiling brightly. "Sleep well." My dad was at the table, reading the news on his tablet. He looked up and gave me a nod. "Morning, son." Everything was exactly as it should be. Nothing was out of place. It must have all been a terrible, vivid nightmare. I let out a sigh of relief and walked into the living room. I caught my reflection in the dark screen of the TV. I looked tired, but otherwise fine. I smiled, relieved it was all over, and in the reflection, my smile widened on its own, stretching from ear to ear, filled with a darkness that wasn't mine. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Stay safe out there.